Hello, guys. This is Jaya for the session of digitalization, where we'll discuss about its importance, its aspects, its factors, why it is really important in today's business world, as well as with an interesting case study. So we should begin with our first slide, which comprises of a scenario where there are two friends who are the owners of tours and travel business, where in this scenario, David is earning more and Bob is earning less. So we need to find out what is the reason behind it, why David is earning more and Bob is earning less. It is because of the methods they are using in their business. Now, Bob is using the method is a traditional method, whereas David is using a digital way of method. So, in a traditional way of method, it is really a time consuming. In a nutshell, I can say it's a time consumption and the requests are not completed on time by Bob. Whereas David is completing all the requests, complaint, query instantly as it is using the digital way of method in his business. Whereas the customers are really happy with his service and wants to give more and more business to him because of his proactive nature, proactive services. Whereas Bob is struggling to get those things done. Why? Because he is using a physical manpower and the traditional way of method in doing the business is really tough and hard to do it. And to complete all the complaint and requests of the customers is really, really difficult in a traditional way of method. That's the reason in this scenario, it is the importance of digitalization in a business world is more important rather than a traditional method because traditional method doesn't complete the things for the business owners as well as for the consumers. My second slide comprises of the difference between these two methods. So the main point is a in a digital method is a less manpower is involved, less time consumption is there, the costing is very low, the processing is very fast, and the accuracy is more and more efficient. But whereas when we see in a traditional way of method, the manpower, more and more manpower is involved, the more and more time consumption is there, the costing is very high, processing is very low, and the chances of the errors is very high in a traditional method because it's taking a lot of time and it is the time consumption. But wherein the digital method, the manpower is less and the time consumption is less and the accuracy is more and more efficient in this particular method while using in your online business. Now, my second slide comprises where we discuss about the scenario, we discuss about the difference between the two methods. Now we discuss about what is actual digitalization in today's world. So in today's world, digitalization comprises of four pillars that comes to a technology. Second is technology. Third is uh, technology, data. Third is the process. And fourth is the automation change, organizational change. So when we are talking about a technology, in every business there is a technology where it creates a new or it modifies the existing technology which makes it transparent between the customers as well as the business owner. Secondly, the data. When we are talking about technology, the data also comes in hand. When we are running a business online, we have a lot of data which we keep it online to make it analysis, to compare it to where our brand or the product is standing in today's world. So we can do it is as well on an online platform. Now, third comes an automation process. Now, when we are talking about a business on an online platform, process is the most important part or a most important key point in this particular business because it modifies or it simplifies the complexity of the business and it makes it user friendly for both the consumer and the business because the business owner wants the consumer to visit their website or an app and which should be easy for the consumer as well. Last point is an organizational change. Why it is so important in organizational change? Because when the customer requires an improvisation in the product, so for this completing the improvisation or to meet the demands of the customer, the business person has to make some changes in the organization to get that improvisation to the particular brand or the product. That's a reason why it is really, really important for the digitalization tool. So these 4 points always comprises of digitalization. It shows how much importance it has when we are running an online business platform. Now, my second slide comprises of the importance of digitalization. I have points like digitalization always increases efficiency. How it increases the efficiency? Like protecting all the records on an online platform, whether it is a natural disaster, whether it's a theft, whether it is loss in some manner, or it has been gone, or it is vanishes from your system. So it can be retrieved when you're doing it online. You are not keeping all the papers or something. If you're keeping it online, it becomes an easier when these things, when these factors happen sometime. So you can retrieve all the data from online platform, and that is what it increases the efficiency when you are working on an online platform. So the risk of whenever whoever is working on an online platform or in a traditional way, the risk of the losing all the records are always expensive. So in a traditional way of method, when you're doing this, when you have a lot of data in papers, so if it is lost one paper also, you have to start from the scratch to see, to match those records. But in an online platform, if it is loses or it have theft or it's some natural disaster, you still have that opportunity to retrieve that data on an online platform, and that makes it easier for the business people, and they don't have to worry. And the most important point, it increases only the efficiency on an online platform for the business person. Second point, which comes for what is the importance in digitalization in a business growth, is the main point is to retrieve, or you can say, to the customer, the retention of the customer is the foremost important. Why it is important? When the customer comes to you and he or she tells about your query or the complaints, if you listen to that in a proactive manner and you try to give a proactive solution to the customer would be happy. If I were in that particular place, I would be really happy, and I would recommend that channel to other people so that they should come to your website, because the customer, if you're retaining the potential customer, they would be coming back for their repeat purchases. Secondly, you have a good customer base, you have a good traffic in your website or an app, and that's what every business, every sector wants, that because the customers are really important for every field of business, whether he's in an investment, whether it is in a banks, whether it is anywhere in an e-commerce. Everywhere they want that customer base to be strong, and it helps the business grow more and more. So you get 2 points, you retain the customers, and secondly, there is a customer base and there is a repeat purchases on your channel. So that's what it shows, that digital tool has a really, really good impact on a business growth. Now we have come to a slide where we talk about the examples of digitalization. So in an example, there are a lot of examples for a digital tool. We can even convert a photograph while scanning it and keeping it online. If we are filling up a particular form for an admission for a kid, we can do it online instead of standing in a queues. And if we are going for a, like, to have a bank statements or something, that can also be filled in an online platform, and you can get those uh, statements in an online in your mails. So that is what the digitalization has its own benefits, has its own advantages, while in a domestic as well as in a business world. So that is why, in my words, or we can say digitalization has its own importance while having in today's business world and as well as in domestic world. Now we come to what is the advantages of digitalization. When we are talking about the advantages, the first point is the time saving. Why? Because when you are sitting in some place and you have to look about a certain product, you can serve it or you can search it on an online platform. You don't have to go here and there to search for that particular brand or the product. So when the time saving is there, so cost saving goes in hand, because you are not traveling from one place to another. You are sitting wherever you are and you are searching that particular brand or the product on an online platform. Third, it increases the accuracy when you're doing it in an online platform. Easy distribution. Whenever you are running a business on an online platform, you can easily distribute all the information about your brand, about your launches, about your product on a social media, where the every people can have that attention that this company or this brand has these products, and it is really good. So that is the easy distribution, because when you are sending this particular information about your company or your brand, that grabs a lot of people on an online platform. Instead, in a traditional way, the people doesn't grab that much of information because they are not very shit. Hello everyone. This is Jaya for the session of digitalization. So today I'm going to discuss about the scenario where there are two friends who are the owners in a tours and travel, where they are using two different methods, where there is a traditional method and a digital method. David is using that traditional method. Why? Because David is earning more and more a business while they are completing all the complaints and requests of the consumers on time, whereas Bob is struggling in a traditional way of method, where it is becoming difficult for Bob to complete all the requests and the queries on time. So that is why David is earning more and more business in his own way and getting more and more clients in his business, whereas Bob is struggling to conduct all the requests and complaints on time. That is why Bob is struggling in his business, whereas David is earning more and more and in easiest way. Secondly, we have in a second slide what is the difference between the traditional versus digital method. When we are talking about a digital method, so we have a less manpower is involved, less time consumption is there, there is very low costing, the processing is very fast, and there is more and more accuracy. Whereas in a traditional method, more and more manpower is involved, the time consumption is more, it's a very high costing, slow processing, and the chance of errors is very high. So that is why digital method has its own importance while we are talking about this. Second point is second slide comprises of what is a digitalization. When we are talking about a digitalization, it comprises of four pillars. That is the technology, the data, then process, and last is a organizational change. So when we are talking about the technology, every business have a technology in uh, every business does have a technology which it creates or it modifies the new technology in the business, whereas it makes it simpler, which makes it transparent for the consumers as well as for the business. Second point is data. While we have a business on an online platform, we have a lot of data which is comprising of comparison, the analysis about the brand, about the product, and each and everything. So that makes it easier uh, to understand where the brand or the product is standing in today's market situation. Third point is the automation process. The process also helps the business to simplify the complexity of the business and makes it easier for the consumers as well as for the business purpose. Now, the last point is an organizational change. When we are talking about an organizational change, so this is comes around that when the customer requires an improvisation in this particular product, so we have to do changes in our organization to meet the demands of the consumers so that it gives whatever the improvisation the customer needs from your brand or your product. You can able to help that while doing some organizational change within your business to meet those demands. That is why the digitalization is really, really important in today's business world. Second, we come to the slide of the importance of digitalization. So when we are talking about the importance of digitalization, it first point which comes into the mind, that is it increases the efficiency while the data or the documents, if it is lost, if it has a natural disaster, if it has any loss it happens, but still we have the opportunity to retrieve those data in an online platform. But while we see in a traditional way of method, if one product or a one-off thing is loss, we have to start it from the scratch. We don't have that luxury to retrieve those data. But in a digitalization, we have that luxury to retrieve all the data, all the documents which we have lost of a certain natural disaster or a theft or any problem has happened to our system. Second point which comes into my mind is that how it gives a growth to the business through this digital tool is when we retrieve those customers, when we retrieve those customer in a very proactive nature with a proactive manner, and we are trying to listen their queries, their requests. And if I was even there, I would be really happy if my query has been listened and it has, they are trying to give the solution to that particular query of the customer. The customer would be really happy, and he or she will come back for the repeat purchases, as well as it will recommend your channel to other people, as well as you will have a great business growth in your platform. So you get the 3 points while retaining the customer, you will get the repeat purchases, you will get the customer base, and you have the growth in your business as well. Now, my second slide comprises of the examples of digitalization. When we are talking about the examples of digitalization, so it can be anything when we can convert the analog to a digital platform, like when we have a photograph in our hand, we can scan it and keep it on an online platform if we want to fill up the forms. So we can do it online, we can attach all the documents on online, and that processing will be fast. So that is why the digital tool in every way of life or in every walk of life, it's really important. Why? Because the digital tool has its own benefits, whether we are in a domestic person or I'm a business person. Digital tool always help in our every walk of life, and it will helps to create more and more things for us. Now, my second slide comprises of what is the advantage of digitalization. When we are talking about the advantages of digitalization, the points comes hands to hand. Like it is a time saving, it's a cost saving. So when I'm saying a time saving, so you are sitting in anywhere, if you're sitting in an office, you're sitting in a cafe, or you're sitting in a home, if you want to search or want to purchase some product, you can just search it online and you can have a best deals, you can compare that. So in that manner, there is a cost saving when we are talking about a cost saving. So you're not traveling from one place to another in search of that particular brand. The accuracy goes hand in hand. Then it is an easy distribution when we are talking about when we need to give all the information about your new launch product or a brand. It can grab it online. Most of people, it can grab 2 to 300 or more than 300 people, but it is not possible in a traditional way of method, because you have to print the pamphlets and then you have to go here and there to distribute the same. Second point is to secure when all the documents are secured, so you can retrieve those data. Every document in an online platform is secured and easy, and it makes it very uh, easy for you if it is lost or somewhere. But you can still have that opportunity, you still have that luxury to retrieve those data and increase in profit. While we are talking about increase in profit, so how do we do it? That by retaining the customers. So this time saving, cost saving, accuracy, easy distribution, secured, and increase in profit, it goes hand in hand with the business which is running on an online platform, and which is really, really important in today's market situation. Now, we have a case study which I have told you that with this particular digitalization topic live session, we would be concluding a case study, which is I have taken a case study. Which deals with the QR code, because today now the QR code is more and more important in a market area, or you can say the person who is doing business on an online platform, and QR code makes it simpler for everybody. So today we are talking about the cosmetic industry. Every person or even a consumer, always in this particular climate or a trend, always a consumer requires improvisation in the product. They want a newness in the product. They want every content about the product. So when you're looking about the cosmetic products or the beauty products, the consumer needs each and everything about this particular product which she's buying, or which she's looking, or which she's trying to understand whether it is good for her skin or not. So these things are really important. And how do we solve this problem? While using the QR code, I'll explain you today in this particular case study. So my first question which comes it, what is a QR code? Why it is used in cosmetic or a beauty industry? So for this, I have a particular answer to raise the brand awareness, add elegance, promote cosmetic products in the beauty marketplace, which is really, really important. QR codes in the cosmetic and the beauty industry packaging are becoming a whole part of the design, because this is required when you are doing a packaging of that particular product in this particular industry. In fact, there have been always a considerable success in the beauty industry involving this QR code as a digital tool. It has its own importance. I told you the digital tool has its own importance in this particular business. Then the QR code technology has contributed to the beauty marketplace when it comes to allow their customers to make informed decision about the particular product before purchasing it. Moreover, the QR codes in a cosmetic or the beauty brands help many campaigns to provide the transparency to the customers and to gain the loyalty, which is really, really important. If there is transparent between the customers and the business owners, the customer would be really happy to purchase the product when he or she is having the entire knowledge about that product, and these things can be helped by QR code. Now, my second point, which you all know, when we are doing in a case study, we always have in our mind what are the real uses for this QR code while helping in this beauty industry. So the first point, which everybody have in mind, the QR code should have all the knowledge of that particular product, which is the customer is buying. So in cosmetic product packaging, maybe cosmetic product can be small, or it is simply designed, which is leaving a very little room to provide the information about that particular product. So how do we do it? That adding the QR code and the instruction that takes the consumer through the dedicated landing page online, the full of the product specific info can go for a long in a relying uh, info without compromising the product page. So that's what we all require. We require the instruction, we require the entire information, and this QR code helps into it. If it has a little room, but still we can do the editing, we can do each and every, we can add every part of that particular product. That's why we require the QR code should be added in that customer product. Second, how it helps to make purchases for the products of the customer, sorry, we can say the cosmetic product or the beauty product. So in a cosmetic stores can use these, who are using the physical store, they can use these QR code to enable the contact free shopping, because here everybody is having that contactless shopping, something desirable in a post where you can in this pandemic era, that everything has become a contactless, and they are just using it online platform to look out for each and every product. So how you can simplify it, it is using the QR code to scan to, their items. The customer can add this these products which they are looking about for the purchase, they can add to their virtual basket or to the physical store. This system can be in a supermarkets, with any store, with customer can be use their handheld scanner to scan the products and put them into their basket instead of queuing or waiting for their service to be completed. So this would be very easy for the customer engagement as well as for the business owners, and it makes it easier for the customer to not to wait in a queue, because in today's situation the person doesn't want to wait in a queue and wait for their service to be completed. So that's why you can apply, who are in this particular industry, cosmetic and beauty products, they can apply this QR code so that the customer should not wait and should be happy and get through the purchases more and more. Third is the uh, Third is the QR code to personalize the shopping. The second thing which comes into my mind, how to personalize the shopping through this QR code. So QR code are on the shop shelf next to the products, because the products are kept on the shelf and there are the QR code which is placed aside to them, and which take the customer through it, and it is helpful uh, to the customer to understand the cosmetic products as well as the brand. This can be taken to the next level, and it can be more tailored in purchasing the cosmetic. The customer can scan the QR code and can be taken to the online quiz that tells them about this particular product, whatever they are trying to buy, whether it's a cream or a mascara or something, so they can understand what is this all about. And so when you give them a quiz, or the person start guessing on that particular, he or she comes to know about that particular product. So the customer who completes this quiz and receive a personalized suggestion with a feel confidence and empowered to make the purchase. So that's why the quizzes and everything is really important while they are scanning that particular QR code for that brand. So brands are often offer these QR code that customer takes to the app download, which enables a virtual makeup trying demo. So when the person comes to your this particular store, when they have answered all the query and the request of everything, that makes it easier for them, and it comes to an it enables a customer to do a download, they can get a free demo for it, so it becomes a personalization shopping experience for the customer through this particular QR codes when they scan it on the shelves. So this is what who are the people in the cosmetic industry or the beauty industry, they can apply this on the stores, so that will help. It's a more and more engagement for the customer, because you all want the customers should be engaged in your store and gets more and more benefits and more business growth in your particular store. Now, my second point comes to the offer discounts in your cosmetic products, which each and every woman or a person requires for it. So the QR codes are, you can say it is employed for giving discount to the person. In this instance, the customer can scan the QR code and the discount will be revealed to them. Whenever they are scanning the particular product, they can redeem. The discount is revealed to them. This is a great solution. It's a market trick, you can say, but it is a great solution for the show, in the showroom where the customer has been visited to a physical store to review the products which he or she has seen it online. But having these QR codes scanned, the discount can be redeemed in a physical store. You all know that sometimes it is the people who are using online platform. Sometimes the person, we can see there are situations where people have some discount on online platform, but we see the major discounts come in a physical stores when we are looking out. So that makes it easier that if you're getting a 10% discount on an online platform, but if you go to a physical store, there might be 20% discount on that particular brand or the product. So the QR code simplifies those things and it helps a customer to make more and more discounts in your store. So that is one point where you can look out when you're having the product in a physical store. You can offer a good discount because you can compare it online, because many of the e-commerce sites give more and more discount, but the person if coming to your store, you can offer more good discounts rather than online. Second point, which comprises of the QR code on purchasing sample. Everywhere where the person wants a new product or a thing is launched, so everyone wants to have that particular sample. So sending or giving that product sample is the most popular marketing techniques for a beauty and a cosmetic brands looking to expand their market with the proven results. To secure this purchase, cosmetic samples can have the QR codes on the sachet. So the packaging which leads the consumer through it. So it can be any store for purchase. This ensure the customer has the instant way to make a purchase if they like that particular sachet. So when they have the sample and if they have used it, so that it can be a landing page to purchase that particular main product again. So that's why the sample is really easy. If you have to purchase the main product, you can just try that sample. You should have that sachet in your cosmetics so that the person can scan it and the customer would be more secure in purchasing that product, main product, while using that sachet QR code. Second point is QR code, how the QR code measure the market effectiveness. Sometimes the measuring success of a marketing campaign can be tricky. You all know it can be tricky when you are doing a campaign and generate and relies on the sales report when you are doing a marketing campaign, which can be influenced by the range of other factors. Now, QR code marketing campaign has its own effects, has its own advantages, but QR code can offer a full proof way to access whether the customer has interacted with marketing materials or not. So how we do it? For example, as customers scan the QR code and can be taken to the URL, the tracking can be placed on the landing page to collect the data on how many users have this scan this QR code, getting into the landing page to the URL. So the marketing campaign could be successful. Comparing to the data from various market campaigns or the variation, QR code tracking can prove which has been effective in bringing the sale. It is because when number of people are doing the scan, you are getting all the data, you get to know about how many people are scanning, how many coming to your landing page, how many are visiting to the URL, which is really important for your sales, for your business. So that is why the QR code is the most effective way to do it. So whenever the person comes to your store and he or she purchase the product from your store, you can have a digital customer feedback. The soon they do the purchase, they can provide that feedback, because every sector, every business requires that feedback, and to improvise its product more and more, so that he can have a good product for the consumers. So that is why we all require customer feedback, we all require the social media traffic, we all need all these things. So while doing all of these purchases, you can attach this feedback QR code, and in that particular website, or on the bill, or in the product, you should have your social media part also to be designed in your product. So today in this case study, we learned about the cosmetic industry, where we learned about how to make the full information about the product through QR code on the product. Second, how to make the purchases more easier in a cosmetic industry while using QR codes. Then how to personalize your shopping experience with the QR code. Then how to offer discount on the products that we have came to learn. Then how we can use a sampling product with the QR code, how we have measured the effectiveness of the market, and the last thing, how to gather the feedback and the social media followers and traffic to your website and the app, which is really important. So you have to make, there are many points, but I have only these couple of points to make your business to a value where you can just establish these things and make more and more customer engagement with your business, so that it can be have a good growth in a customer way as well as to the business growth. Now, I'm representing the company of Uxlivinglab, where we used to deal with or we execute a quantitative and qualitative research for our clients for the product, service, and process, where we try to get all the consumer insights, and we try to innovate or to give the strategy to the clients to make it a good product or a process or service in today's market situation, so that we don't do it globally, and we do it to every we do have all the resources everywhere, so that we can help the client in such a way that we can help with the product, service, and everything. So this is only through one QR code. They don't have to stand in a queue. Whenever they want it, they can just contact me. So how we do it? So after the session, I'll be providing the calendar link to you, and you can just try to book a calendar appointment with us, and I'll try to help you with your queries. If you want to know about how it works, what are the features, what are the pricing, we will try to help you out in every such manner. You can just post it in my Facebook page, and I will come to help you out with all your queries. Thank you for the session.